Boom, easy. Hey guys, welcome back to another Minecraft mod showcase. I'm back after several months because I spent the past couple of months learning how to do parkour as well as doing some renovation to the lab because I turned my little office room into a massive parkour course, which I'm very likely just going to tear down in the next video, but we won't pay attention to that. This mod showcase is covering the Parcool mod, which is a mod that adds a ton of parkour abilities and just a lot of cool stuff, and it's a lot of fun to mess around with. And I'm just going to show you guys absolutely everything that I just did and explain how I did it. So before you actually get into your parkour, you want to go into your options and controls and then just keybinds and scroll all the way down to where your controls are, and you're going to see Parcool. And these are the settings that I'm using for my abilities. I'd recommend you just have essentially everything except for crawl and dodge on right button, and also you can disable your parkour abilities in the settings. I have my settings set to P, so if I just hit that, I can choose to disable certain things if I want to, but we don't need to do that. I would personally recommend matching my settings if you have a mouse that has side buttons because it's really helpful. But anyway, I'm just gonna jump right into it because it's parkour, get it? Anyway, the first thing that I'm gonna be showing off is just vaulting, and really all you gotta do, okay, well before I do that, I gotta actually show one other thing. So in this mod, you might have noticed on the bottom right of the screen, there is a stamina bar. You don't lose that when you're normally sprinting, but this mod has a new version of sprinting where when you press your sprint button, or just sprint, you kind of lean forward and go into the Parkool's mod's version of sprinting. You lose your stamina over time, and if you were to do certain abilities, it drains a little bit quicker. But if you were to stand still just for a couple of seconds, it'll all come back. You can enable this in the settings. If you just disable or enable fast running, then you will go into this fast running. Anyway, here is the next thing I'm gonna be showing off, and that is just vaulting over objects. So anything that's one block or just like a fence, you can vault over just by going into the mod sprint and then just sprinting at the block, and you will vault directly over it. It's very easy, and you literally just run at the block. You can't mess that up. Anyway, the next thing that I'm going to be showing off is a cat leap, which very simply, if you go into the mod's super fast running, all you got to do is press shift and let go, and you will do a cat leap. So just shift, let go, shift, let go, and it's super easy. And also it makes you go a little bit faster, but you can't keep doing it forever and going ridiculously quick because you'll drain your stamina and then you won't be able to sprint with the mod's speed anymore. And the next thing that I'm going to be showing off is the grab cliff ability, and just if you're matching my settings, I have it set to right click. You can use it when you're holding items, it doesn't matter, it works. So if I were to just jump up and hold right click, I grab the cliff and I can shift left and right. If I press space when I'm grabbing a cliff, I jump up. So while I'm up here, I'm going to quickly show off the next ability, which is a flip. And the way that you flip is you see your A and D on the keyboard. This is not configurable. This is the way that it is. If you press A and D on your keyboard at the exact same time, you will do a front flip. And if you're backing up when you press A and D at the same time, you will do a back flip. So I'm just going to front flip over that, ledge grab, and I'm up here. And there is another ability that I'm going to show off while I'm up here, which is the break fall. So if you were to hold right click right as you're landing, you will break your fall. So if I just jump off of this and hold right click, I sort of do that little animation, I don't take any fall damage. But for example, if I were to do that while I'm moving forward, I do a little front roll out of it, which continues movement, and you get a little bit of momentum from it. Now that we're done with the easier abilities, we're going to move on to some of the slightly harder abilities to do, which is wall running. So for my wall running, I have it set to right click as well, and as long as I'm sprinting, I will keep wall running. But the thing is, wall running doesn't last forever. Eventually you're gonna have to jump off because it only lasts like maybe a second and a half. So I'm just gonna run up to the wall, hold right click, and after a second it stops. So what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to run and then jump off the next wall to get to the end. But you don't have to wall run to be able to traverse walls like this. You can just sprint and jump on the walls. Like if you're sprinting, you can just jump and you will be able to just kind of bounce back and forth between the walls. But wall running just makes it look cooler. Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna let my stamina regenerate a little bit, and I am going to wall run to the end and jump, and now I'm over here. So now the next parkour ability is crawl or slide, and I have it set to my button 4, which is on my mouse. And if you guys have a mouse that has side buttons, I'd recommend having button 4 as crawl and button 5 as dodge. I'll show off what dodge is in a minute. And if I were to just hold button 4, I go into Minecraft Vanilla's crawl mode, which allows you to crawl in 1 block tall spaces. And in order to slide, you just need to be in the mods sprinting, and then just sprint, hold that button, and you slide under things, which is cool. And you don't need to be sliding under something for it to slide. You can do it on any surface, but it will end after a good 1.5 seconds, so just keep an eye on that. Using swiftness or any speed enhancing things does not increase how long sliding lasts, so just keep that in mind. But again, I'm just gonna slide under this, and now we are on to the next thing, which is again the grab cliff that we showed before, which is just by holding right click you will grab the cliff. And I'm just going to hold right click once I jump up here and slide across by holding A, and now I'm on the other side. If you were to grab the cliff and you're high enough, you can just press space and go up to the next one, so you can kind of climb. Oh, I almost fell. So you can kind of climb, but it takes a little bit of practice, and you also need to be like on the top of the block. But other than grabbing the cliff, you can also hold right click to slide down walls if you have it set to this, which I really recommend. Have right click set to absolutely everything except for crawl and dodge. I cannot stress that enough. It makes things so much easier. I am just going to jump onto this wall, and I'm going to hold right click and slide down. But as you can see, there's some ice down there, and I'll show you what that's for in a second. So if I were to jump and hold right click and slide down the wall, I slide. But if I slide down ice, I go a little bit quicker. So depending on the block, you slide a little bit quicker. So let's just keep that in mind. It makes things a lot easier. Anyway, now I'm down at the border. So this is the void right here. This is the end of the parkour, and I can just fall and die. Anyway, I'm just kidding. There's border blocks there. I wouldn't fall and die for this, but I can do this. Anyway, that's pretty much the end of it. Really, the last thing I can show you guys is I can do the entire parkour again in first person, because flipping, sliding, and wall running, it all makes stuff look different in first person. So I'm just gonna vault over that. That's how that looks in first person. Cat leap, grabbing the cliff, front flip. Oh, I fell. Front flip again and roll out of it, and then wall run. Oh, and then crawl or slide. And now I can just slide across this. And see what it's doing to my arm? It's making the outer edge of my skin clip through. And then I'm going to slide down the wall. And you can turn however much you want while you're in this. It won't make you detach from the wall as long as you're like on the wall. But now I'm back here. So in an area like this where it's kind of compact, you can kind of do the wall jump and get up, but you will run out of stamina long before getting up the 64 blocks that's on this, or you'll die like I almost did. The last thing there really is to show off is dodging, which if you have your settings exactly how I do, it's very simple. All you need to do is press the button 5 button, which is on the mouse. That's side buttons, but you can change it to whatever you like. Or there's another very easy option, which I will show you in a second. So when you dodge, you essentially just do a little maneuver to a side, and it's just like that, very easy, very simple. And I'm going to do it in survival so you can see that you do actually lose stamina from it. But if you don't want to have a keybind set for dodging, all you need to do is double tap one of your movement keys, so W, A, S, or D, and you will do a little dodge in that direction. And it's very simple. You can do it in any direction, even diagonally, and it works. Anyway, that's pretty much everything in the Parcool mod, but if you have any more questions, there's the Parcool guide, which you can craft very simply with 1 book and 3 feathers, and boom, you got it. And this essentially just tells you absolutely everything that I just said about the mod, so if you made it to the end of the video, then no need to worry. None of this is of any use. That's pretty much everything. So thank you guys for watching, and make sure to like the video and subscribe, because I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So please subscribe, do your thing. We're almost there. So thank you guys for watching again, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later. Ah!